There were bright lights in the sky that shot all over Seoul. Some lights went to the north, while some went to the west. However, the width of the scattering wasn't large. Most of the lights were gathered in central Seoul. It was evidence of where the incarnations were gathering to prepare for the scenario. Finally, a contract! I'll also have a contract! The incarnations waiting in the area cried out enthusiastically. I wasn't the only incarnation who survived this far without a sponsor. Soon little stars emerged over the heads of the incarnations without a contract. The number of stars represented the number of constellations who wanted the incarnation. Sponsor selection. Please select your sponsor. Your chosen sponsor will be your strong supporter. Perhaps by now, all the unsigned incarnations would be seeing the same thing I was. Of course, mine was probably a bit different. 1. Prison of the Golden Headband. 2. Abyssal Black Flame Dragon. 3. Secretive Plotter. As expected, there was the Prison of the Golden Headband and the Secretive Plotter. I felt sorry to keep rejecting them, but it couldn't be helped. The Abyssal Black Flame Dragon was here again? He had Han Soo-young, so why did he keep coming to me? 4. So-a Il-pil. 5. Ball General Justice. 6. King Hemu the Great. The great people of the Korean Peninsula also lined up. So-a Il-pil was followed by Ryu Sang-ryong. Our Samyetang also came. In addition, there was the fox Kim Yushin. Do you think I would really choose him? The list continued. 21. Goryo's First Sword. 22. God of Wine and Ecstasy. Anyone who was called Korea's best swordsman could be Goryo's first sword. Then there was Dionysus. Seems Olympus had also stepped into the race for Kim Doksha. I felt a bit confused as the list continued. It was because unexpected constellations kept appearing. 48. Black Light of Guidance. 49. Scribe of Heaven. 50. Ruler of Revenge and the Apocalypse. I didn't remember all the modifiers, so only I had dim memories of the Black Light of Guidance and the Ruler of Revenge and the Apocalypse. However, I was certain about the Scribe of Heaven. He was a powerful constellation of the Absolute Good system, the Archangel Metatron. Based on angelic authority, this guy was ranked much higher than Uriel. This was a second heavenly being. Damn it, what type of constellations were watching me? The hundreds of stars above my head formed a magnificent spectacle. It was a brilliance that seemed like it would light up all darkness near it. Some incarnations stared this way with soulless expressions. What is that person? Shin Yusung stared above my head in a blank manner and muttered, "Ajashi, you're like a Christmas tree." The constellations who love the Korean Peninsula want you to keep your promise. A number of constellations want to see your faith. In the end, it came. I took a deep breath and called to Bihyung. Bihyung. What? How many are there now? I had made a promise to the constellations when fighting off Dogak. If the number of subscribers to the channel reached 10,000 before the sponsor selection ended, I would choose a sponsor. 9,812. No, 14. 16. The number of constellations continued to rise. Being's tone became tense. There are 3 minutes left to complete the sponsor selection. The result would be determined in 3 minutes. The constellation Ball General Justice is looking nervously at you. Unfortunately, there was no point in looking at me desperately. There are 2 minutes left to complete the sponsor selection. The constellation Ball General Justice has sponsored you 200 coins. The constellation So-a Il-pil has sponsored you 300 coins. The constellation King Hemu the Great has sponsored you 300 coins. The sponsorship competition was finally starting. It was a natural choice for the constellations if they wanted to stand out. Some great constellations above narrative grade constellations are clicking their tongues. The constellation Prison of the Golden Headband has sponsored you 5,000 coins. This was the exact development I hoped for. Good. Give me more money. The constellation Scribe of Heaven has sponsored you 30,000 coins. As expected of Metatron, it was an entirely different class. It should be obvious since he was a Chancellor of Heaven. The constellation Prison of the Golden Headband is looking at the Scribe of Heaven. There's 1 minute left to complete the sponsor selection. I asked Bihyung, how many now? 9,973, 76, 77. Finally reached a breathtaking level. 9,981, 84. 30 seconds left. 9,993. 20 seconds. 9,998. A few constellations are holding their breaths. 10 seconds. 9,999. 5, 4, 3. The sponsor selection has ended. Then I let out a light sigh. I gazed at Bihyung, who opened his mouth with a smile. I'm really sorry, everyone. Many constellations think it's ridiculous. There's no use in yelling. Current number of subscribers, 9,999. The screen that floated next to Bi-hyung showed reality. Some incarnations saw it and their mouths dropped open. Shin Yu-sun asked,
Hajishi, are you a star on YouTube?
Maybe it was similar. I spoke in a shameless voice towards the sky. It's too bad. I would have selected a sponsor if there was 10,000 constellations. Many constellations wonder who you would have chosen. Then Bi-hyung intervened.
This information can't be revealed to protect the privacy of the incarnation.
Well done, Bi-hyung. A number of constellations are rioting. The sky above Yongsan-gu distorted and lightning started to fall towards the innocent people. Sparks filled the air. The Dokubi's power to influence probability could also block the constellation's wrath.
Now, all constellations, please calm down. Unfortunately, the event had to be cancelled because we are lacking one person.
Then Bi-hyung glanced at me and continued.
As an apology, I'll create a compensation event.
Then the lightning temporarily stopped.
Perhaps you're thinking this. Shit, what should I do if this continues?
Many constellations are listening to Dokubi Bi-hyung's words.
I understand your thoughts. So, I will punish the incarnation who didn't choose anyone in the second sponsor selection. However, I will only do this if the constellations are in favor of it.
Many constellations are in the favor of Dokubi Bi-hyung's words. Bi-hyung nodded with satisfaction.
What's happening?
Don't be upset by the offense unfolding.
Hajishi, why didn't you choose a sponsor?
Well, it isn't time yet. Honestly, I was a bit shaken when I saw Metatron, but if I chose someone here, everything I had done would be in vain. I couldn't enter under anyone else. This was the only way. Yusangashi, take the kids and hide.
Do you have an idea?
Of course. Never come out unless I signal you. A new bounty scenario has arrived. You become the target of the bounty scenario. As expected, the bounty scenario began. Bounty scenario, punishment. Category, bounty. Difficulty, A. Clear conditions. Brutally kill the incarnation Kim Dokja. The more brutal his death, the more coins you can receive. Time limit, 20 minutes. Compensation, 40,000 plus coins. Failure, none. Anyone who saw it would think I was the fifth disaster. It was 40,000 coins to kill one person. Shin Yu-sung paled when she received the scenario.
Hajishi?
Yu-sung grabbed Shin Yu-sung, who was reaching for me, and retreated. At almost the same time, the incarnation in the area discovered me and started to flock. There was a target mark floating above my head. Crazy! 40,000 coins? Hey, get that fucker! Many constellations are enjoying the development of the scenario. The constellations angry at my choice loved the way I was being chased like a rodent. Everyone had already forgotten about the 10,000 event. Yeah, this was the nature of constellations. Bi-hyung glanced at me and communicated with a nasty expression.
I didn't realize it would turn out like this.
I knew. I used to do this when working at the game company. The only way to appease angry users was to open a new event. Bi-hyung shivered and murmured.
Is it okay? If it is noticed, I really will receive a probability conformity request this time.
In fact, it was an obvious channel manipulation that the number of subscribers didn't hit 10,000. It was because from the beginning, Bi-hyung's BI 7623 channel only accommodated 9,999 viewers. I wouldn't be able to escape if someone like Dokak provoked a fight. Fortunately, there was no one like that present. The low-grade Dokubis had been on guard since the last incident. I decided to take a chance. It was still a dangerous method. There's no doubt that some smart constellations would doubt this. The number stopped exactly at 9,999. This defied coincidence. Thus, an event to shift the attention of the constellations was needed. The constellations hated annoying things and were vulnerable to fun. I used the current punishment event to take advantage of that. Bi-hyung opened his mouth and spoke to everyone.
Constellations, please note that the incarnation Kim Dokja can receive a penalty if coins are sponsored.
The moment he spoke, my body suddenly became heavy. A selfish constellation has given you a speed penalty. 500 coins have been sponsored. The more coins I received, the more penalties that would be inflicted on me. The incarnations who would normally be able to follow me were right on my tail. Everyone seems blinded by the coins, right? I smiled and weeded Blade of Faith. Ugh. A constellation who wants your misfortune has given you an attack penalty. 500 coins have been sponsored. My attack power was halved and the incarnations didn't die. I was actually glad about this. I didn't want to kill them. A constellation who wants your death has given you a defense penalty. 500 coins have been sponsored. The fucking sponsorship. A dagger flew from somewhere and hit my arm, causing terrible pain. My arm would have been cut off if it wasn't for the infinite dimension space coat. A few constellations feel sorry for your adversity. There were also constellations who supported me. Thank you for your tears. I grabbed my injured arm and ran to the southwest of Yongsangu. If I was right, the meteorite where the disaster flood slept in that direction. The energy of the meteorite showed it was close to hatching.
Byung, what the hell is this? What's the matter? It's a simple entertainment before we enter the game.
Another Dokbi's voice was heard. Now Byung was speaking in a strong manner. It was a sharp contrast to my heavy body. Just a bit more. A river finally appeared. Hold it! I barely managed to escape from the clutches of other people and plunged into the Han River. The other incarnations knew what was in the Han River and couldn't easily follow me. This crazy guy! The 7th great ichthyosaurs swarmed like they had been waiting. They wanted to make my feeble self their food. Many constellations are filled with joy. I had thought as I watched the ichthyosaurs. I didn't have any talent. No matter how hard I trained, I wouldn't become as skilled as I wanted. However, I didn't want to use that as an excuse to say I was weak. The exclusive skill, Bookmark, can now be activated. The way I could become stronger was different from other people. Character Bookmarks is activated. Available bookmark slots, 4. Bring up the available list of bookmarks. I release Demagogue Chon Inu from the 3rd slot and add Beast Tamer Shin Yusong. Number 3 bookmark slot has been activated. A bright light surrounded my body, and the smell of the monsters changed. Some smells were friendly, while some were filled with hostility. I realized that there was a world I didn't know. After all, it was sensitivity to the world that determined how a person read it. The level of bookmark skill is low, shortening the activation time. Activation time, 30 minutes. Your understanding of the character is significant. You can select some of her skills to import. One of the far-off ichthyosaurs synced with me, and complex circuits were forming in my head. Advanced Diverse Communication Level 3 has been activated. Taming Level 9 has been activated. Blood flowed from my nose. This is how the kids always felt. I slowly opened my mouth. Come, Queen Mirabad.